been a very disrespectful conversation in the Dragon Ball community lately, and I just won't have it. I'm not dealing with it. I'm gonna set the record straight because this one gets a little messy and it's extremely controversial right now in the Dragon Ball space. So the topic of conversation I have here is this. This picture right here has been shared so many times in the last couple of weeks, and it is always with the caption, "What could have been if ChiChi didn't ruin Gohan," or "What we could have gotten if ChiChi didn't ruin Gohan." Usually it's something along those lines, and if ChiChi didn't ruin Gohan. Now, I'm going to ask you guys this question. I want you to be as honest as you can possibly be in the comment section below. Did ChiChi ruin Gohan? Because in today's video, I'm going to be setting the record straight because I am backing it up with the manga, the anime, the canon that Akira Toriyama and Toyotaro have both provided us on exactly what is Gohan's journey and how much of that journey is influenced by ChiChi. Because essentially what this picture is saying is that if we didn't have ChiChi pushing Gohan into being a scholar, going and reading, going to school, studies, all that stuff, then we would have gotten this version of Gohan, which is obviously really badass looking. I mean, he looks pretty cool, but he wouldn't be a scholar, he'd be a warrior, and that would have been his pursuit, and that actually may change a lot of different things in the Dragon Ball storyline if Gohan really tripled down on training, going deep into the Buu arc and beyond. But still, the main question is if ChiChi ruined Gohan by pushing him to go into something like being a scholar or, you know, just having a normal job, something against Gohan's wishes that he wouldn't have liked, and he would have rather have done something more like his dad or Vegeta. But before I jump in, huge shout out to every single person that is here on this video here today. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome. Thank you guys so much for being on this channel. Let's jump in. So the first order of business here is this meme right here, and it's not part of the evidence, it's not canon, but I thought it was really funny. It says aliens broke prepubescent Gohan's neck on his 6th birthday in outer space, and y'all wondering why that man wanted to change his career and get out of the game. I mean, I thought he was dead when this happened. I thought we were going to be seeing another funeral and we're going to have Gohan going to King Kai's planet, but you know, luckily he did survive that. But I just thought it was really funny because this is basically setting up is that Gohan basically had like a life-altering change early on to focus more on studies instead of fighting, because he really didn't want to fight after the stuff that went down on Namek, which I don't know if I buy that, but I do think that this is actually really funny, so that's kind of why I wanted to add in here. But let's go ahead and go to the actual canon and see exactly what the story, Dragon Ball story, tells us about Gohan. So in the anime and in the manga, we have tons and tons of evidence where ChiChi is pushing Gohan to basically study. There are a lot of filler episodes in Dragon Ball Z where he wants to do something else, but he is being pushed by ChiChi to stay home and study, and she doesn't want him to go and be a warrior, get in danger, all that sort of stuff, because ChiChi is overprotective. Now, there's two different ways to look at it, and that is with the current Gohan that we have and this more wild-looking Gohan that is really resembling future Gohan, which is a Gohan that we did get and is not a scholar. So with our current Gohan, did ChiChi push him into becoming a scholar? In the manga, we get this moment right here, and this moment is Goku saying it, but Goku says, "You can do it, Gohan. Bring back peace into this world. You do want to become a famous scholar, right?" And this is the manga telling us that this is the direction that Gohan has chosen for himself to go, that he wants to go, but it's more coming from Goku's perspective, as he knows this is what ChiChi has been pushing on him and what Gohan has been working towards before he went into the Cell games. But does Gohan ever say he wants to become a scholar? He does. He says it right here. But I don't want to be a fighter, I want to be a great scholar. Now, this is him as a kid. You can say that this is ChiChi already influencing him, but he's actively saying it right here. And he's telling this, I believe, to Piccolo in this scene before Piccolo trains him. So, yeah, Gohan really wants to become a scholar from a very, very early age, and the boy, he's saying it himself. And actually, the only times that Gohan really wants to go against his mother, which he actively does sometimes, and proves that if he really didn't want to become a scholar, he didn't have to be one, is when the world is in peril or his friends are in peril. Don't be ridiculous. 2 months on top of all this is ChiChi freaking out that Gohan's about to leave, and Gohan tells her straight up, I'm sorry, I want to go no matter what. I want to bring Piccolo back to life with my own hands. And then ChiChi flips out because of course she is, that's her boy, that's her son. But this is Gohan actively going against his mother, and he ends up going to Namek where he, gets his neck broken like this. So he does choose this path. More on this later, because he does choose his friends and family against his mother's wishes to fight for. So maybe some of you guys may be thinking that Gohan is just doing this because scholars make a lot of money and Goku has a hard time getting money. And the answer to this, honestly, I don't think is the case, because yeah, Gohan marries Videl, who is the inheritor to Mr. Hercule's fortune, who is one of the richest men on the planet and the savior of Earth. We've seen how rich he actually is, and Videl actually stays home, so Gohan really doesn't really need money like that to continue being a scholar. So what kind of job does Gohan get by being a scholar? Well, in Dragon Ball Super Superhero, we know that he is a biologist, and he is super excited about his job. He absolutely loves it. He loves learning about these insects that kind of remind him of Super Saiyan. So he is super interested in the topics that he works for. So what's the reason that Gohan actually doesn't do any of this stuff in the future Trunks arc? Why doesn't he become a biologist, and what really changes his path? Is it ChiChi? Well, I dove into the future Gohan storyline, and we don't get anything about really ChiChi and what happens to her in the movie. We know that by the time that all the Z fighters die, she's still alive. She is alive watching Goku die from the heart virus, so she seems to still be alive. Well, in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, we get a DLC about the future Gohan storyline and the future Trunks storyline, and we find out there that Gohan has sort of a rocky relationship with ChiChi and hasn't visited her in a long time. And it's also said there that she basically lives through the events of the future Trunks arc, so being hidden out in the woods probably has saved her. But why does she have a rocky relationship with Gohan? Well, it seems like Gohan's friends and family all dying and him being the last hope of Earth really put a lot of pressure on him to basically become a warrior like his father. And once he became a warrior like his father, he went at odds with his mom, who his mom doesn't want him to perish to the androids like everybody else did, and that's the only family member really she has left at this point. So more than likely this is what caused the rocky relationship, and that is why they are not really seeing each other too much in the future Trunks storyline, which is really depressing, actually really sad. So ultimately, ChiChi really has no influence at all, besides having him study when he was younger, in Gohan and who he becomes. It looks like when there is a higher calling to be had, that's when Gohan puts on the cape and decides to go ahead and face that higher calling. If his friends are in danger, his family's in danger, or the Earth is in danger, he'll always be there, and Dragon Ball Super Superhero has shown us that. So yeah, put some respect on Gohan's name and ChiChi's name. Blackscape, signing out.
Subscribe for more content.